Hi, I'm Guy,
Hi, I'm Troy.
Hi, I'm Alex.
and this is Geek Tank.
Your one person can only run everything size podcasts.
So we're having all kinds of wonderful technical problems tonight. We're having all kinds of problems with all kinds of things.
And if Guy gets kicked off his computer, nobody will be able to log on to StreamYard.
Right? So I
So
want to use a different email solution.
wah wah.
There's a
How you
button.
been, Alex?
Doing all right.
Cool.
So got a new Fitbit today because my old Fitbit broke. So
You ran it out
that's
of power.
cool.
You ran it into the ground.
It got kicked a whole bunch. It died. And yeah. So there's that, and then I'm looking at I got chose my fabric for my corset vest, so now it's they say it should be to me sometime in August. Which means you need to get on the putting together the rest of the outfit. So that reminds me, I need to work on my boots. So
Hey, we have a viewer.
Hey, Brent.
At least we know that part's working.
Yeah, at least we know we're actually transmitting. So
Boots and shoes always look weird in that stage.
yeah, although I've been watching you slowly put in the details on that, and I really like it. Looks good, and it looks really cool, specifically on the camera, like all the little dots that because you've been putting in all the stitching.
mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, on the camera, that really pops.
Yeah, the boots are actually came stitched. It's the shorts that I was putting the stitching into. But yeah,
but the stitching looks beautiful. Yeah. Is that why you're trying to match them?
Yeah, it's kind of like
that makes sense.
Yeah, so
makes sense.
And they're a little bit ankle forward. If you look at them, like the ankle kind of slides a little bit. So I'm gonna have some batting right here. I'm gonna cut some off and then kind of put it into the toe and put them on and see where I want them, and then I'll take the batting out and sew it together. And Yep. Because I need to get they're fitted like too much like cowboy boots, honestly, and I've got shapely ankles, so I want them to taper in a little bit. So when I put a zipper in, and that way I can also just tie these off, and don't worry about having to unlace and relace the ladder lacing, which is a kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah, Craft Tank.
Cobbler hour,
right?
But not apple cobbler.
It's cobblering time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we were to talk about that, I got two uniforms over the last couple of weeks. I'd ordered them 3 or 4 weeks ago. Got a Strange New Worlds uniform and a Lower Decks uniform. That's cool. Not as cool as what Alex is doing, but it's still cool.
It's cool in a different way.
It's cool in a different way. So there you go.
Sweet.
So that's the thing. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have no choice but to call these guys and sit for 20 minutes. I don't want to do that.
Well, you can call now. We'll do it all live on the show.
Right?
That way.
Please wait.
Oh, they will totally. I mean, it'd be hilarious if they shut us down for technical difficulties, like a card like on this old Simpsons episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, there's a chat.
That's what I was saying. Go to the chat.
All right. I'm going to start talking technical support now.
Yeah, just tell them the email address they have to verify stuff is dead. What do we do? Because we can't verify that it's dead if they send us something to it.
Right. Be amazing if they hadn't run into this problem sometime before this.
No, I'm sure.
We probably did, but didn't know.
Well, not us. Other people.
Yeah,
no, I actually Googled it, and like, there's, what do I do if it's stuck like this? And then every one of them was call technical support.
Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much their only option for this kind of thing. Yeah, since Guys currently has access to it, my solution, if they can't fix it, is him to just pull off all of our openers, so it's on his computer, trash this account, and then
it's not the domain that's the problem. It's the email server. So I mean
And-
that
but I
is
mean,
definitely an option we can
I'm
do.
not talking
move
about
to
the
a
domain.
different-
I'm talking about the StreamYard account.
Oh, this account.
Because
Yeah,
this
that'd
account's
be
the
a
problem
thing.
I'm having is I can't log into StreamYard without the passcode that they send to the email that doesn't exist.
Right.
So if we kill this StreamYard account and start a new account, then we just need to move all of our opening videos and little lower third announcements and stuff over to it.
Yeah, we can just
But-
move all that over. Yeah.
But it'd be much easier if they just let us change the email address for where they're sending stuff for StreamYard. Which makes sense since since I'm currently taking over the payments for it. It makes sense for me to have access to for the email to be mine, so they can contact me.
Cool.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
we missed a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. I don't remember.
Vacation,
We had all kinds of stuff
except
going
a
on.
raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went back to Louisville,
Mm-hmm.
and which is
As opposed
funny
to
because
Roberta.
all right.
Roger.
Which is funny because one of my viewers on the other stream is actually in Louisville, so that was actually particularly funny because we were having a discussion about that. I'm like, yeah, one of my really close friends used to live in Louisville. He's like, that's where I am right now, and I'm like, oh, well, actually, I think he's there too. It's just like a really.
I'm
funny
gonna
thing.
follow Troy right now. Don't look. I'm
Right.
behind
He
you.
was right behind you the whole time.
Well, it is a small city. It is entirely possible. I got to go out to karaoke with a friend of mine. The person
Awesome.
sitting next to me, yeah, it was a really awesome location. Great KJ. It's the only first KJ I've seen that does death metal,
Ah.
and I'm like, that's so. And what's great is when he gets up there, he goes, "Okay, now it's time for the KJ to sing." Most of you will probably want to go get your drink now because the bar was like down some stairs and in another section, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's he talking about?" He's like, "Death!" Starts him with that, and everybody but me and my friend get up and leave, and my friend and I are just like, "You're amazing,"
I
Right?
love you. Nice.
because he had all the low proper guttural parts, and then all the really high pitched screaming parts, and I recognized death metal, but I couldn't really tell you any death metal songs or bands because it's not my cup of tea. But I will listen to it before I listen to most country music.
Right.
But yeah, it's really cool. And speaking about how small Louisville is, the person sitting next to me was taking pictures and video, and she's like, "Hey, here's my Instagram account. I'm like a fan of this place. If you want to see any pictures of yourself in that, or if you take any, if you don't mind uploading them to this link, please do so." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I added the Instagram link to mine. A few minutes later, she's like, "Your last name's Fleur?" And of course, there's that brief moment of like, do I answer this yes or no?
Dun dun
So I'm
dun.
like, "Yeah." It's like, "Todd's brother?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, and it's like, I was really good online friends with him for like 20 years and never got to meet him. It's like our
Aw.
paths never crossed because
You're
when
missing
I
out,
was,
babe.
yeah. So and so she was
Yeah,
just
you
shocked
really
that
are.
she got a chance to sit across, like meet his brother in real life, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's like every time she would be in Louisville, he'd be in California or something like that, and they just never connected that way. But they communicated a lot online, and it blew her mind that his brother ended up next to her. And I'm like, yeah, it may seem like a really weird serendipity thing, but Louisville's small. It's when I did improv there, every week I'd run into somebody who'd be like, "Hey, you're that guy in that improv group," which never got out here because
Right.
it's so big, and I probably did just as many shows out here as I did in Louisville.
Ah.
But fun stuff. I got to go to a few different game shops. There's a neat one called Miso Games. Nothing to do with miso soup.
Oh,
Just the name they chose for it. They had anime pictures drawn on the walls and stuff, but boots.
estimated wait is 52 minutes.
Yeesh.
Well, hopefully it'll be one of those. They estimate 52 minutes and then it's only 5 minutes.
No, I know.
I've done that before.
I know, but now they're like, we'll text you on your phone. And I'm like, you know what's going to happen. They're going to text me on my phone at 3 a.m. Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Wow. That's a long 52 minutes.
Yeah. Well, because they'll be like, oh, good. We don't have to worry about him hanging out on our website all this time. So I'll just call them.
Just tell him not to text him, to actually chat with you there. He's probably asking for permission to text you back. Says, no, talk to me here. That's why I'm here.
I don't have a cell phone.
So, yeah. What's his cell phone?
You don't have a cell phone?
He's saying tell them you don't have a cell phone. Don't give them your cell phone number.
Yeah.
Then they can't text you. They have to actually message you. So I haven't been keeping up with the Elon Musk Mark Zuckerberg fight. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but I'm interested to see if it does.
I don't know. I think it's particularly entertaining. All the things. They crack me up.
Isn't Zuckerberg's answer to Twitter, whatever it's called, it's like it actually puts up, I heard it actually puts up as a notice of like, this person's known for spreading disinformation.
I think that's one of the things is it's actually doing the opposite of Twitter, of like trying to hold people accountable for what they post.
Right.
And it apparently like started really strong and probably still going very strong because a lot of people hate Elon Musk now and want to get off of Twitter or not.
Actually, I'm on Threads, and it's actually what I spent a little time trying to get acclimated to it, but it wasn't bad. Like once I kind of got organized on it, it wasn't bad at all. Kind of liked it. The only thing I don't like is it's based off of Instagram. So there's the web function of it is really crappy. The web interface. So.
Well, it only just started, so I'm going to guess it's going to get better.
The web interface is so crappy, although it is kind of cool looking.
How crappy is it?
Well, here, let me show you. I'll show you right here. There you go. That's it right there.
Huh.
It is all, what it's saying here is, yeah, download the app on your phone. It is kind of cool that I can like maneuver this galaxy thing around. That's kind of cool. It's the logo.
So all interfacing's on phone only.
Yep. It's only on the phone. There's no web interface at all.
Well, considering I know enough people out there who don't have computers and only use their phones. Yeah, I get what he's doing.
I get it. This is the way Instagram was for a long time too. Not literally this way, but you couldn't post from the web. You had to post from your phone. So in order for me to post pictures and stuff like that, I had to, transfer the picture to my phone and then upload it from my phone as if it was a photograph that I just took. Because of course, Instagram, originally they were doing Instagram with, it's only for you taking pictures because we wanted edgy. So it was almost like I had to take a picture of my screen, the artwork on my screen, and then upload it because that was easier. And so I don't know. Anyway,
I don't like such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Anyway, I don't know whether I'm online or not.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the only friend I have that used to be a skinhead died, so I can't ask him for advice on how to do this.
How to lace boots?
No, the ladder lacing, straight laced. So it looks like
that. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. In fact, it looks like I might have done it wrong here. No, it's just loose. I'm going to tighten it up. I'm going to tighten these up, not having them on. So.
Okay, so, we've all kind of joined here, and things are kind of wiggly and weird.
Did I vanish, or did you guys vanish?
I see you.
I see you.
Okay, all the screens went swirly for a minute.
Whoa. I wasn't paying attention. Mayit
Oh
happened to me too.
no, Brent's friendly local game store closed down.
Oh, that's what the F stands for.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, that's too
I was
bad.
like, his local flag's closed.
Was it
Six
COVID?
Flags?
I've seen so many game stores come and go. It's very sad.
Yeah, totally.
A whole bunch
Ventures
in
Quarter.
Louisville closed down. It's and see, while we were taking our break, some billionaires imploded.
Yeah. That's the way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Imploded. I heard about the ones who got lost in a submarine.
Oh,
Gilligan's Island.
They dead.
Oh, they
They-
found them?
Oh,
They found what was left of the sub.
They found the front and the back of the sub. The middle part of the sub became about 2 or 3 inches by 2 to 3 inches. So,
yeah.
In other words, they found
Someone
the
to crack it.
titanium end caps, but not the fiberglass middle section, because somebody thought it would be a brilliant idea to make it a fiberglass middle section, which
Supposedly
probably would
it had
have worked.
it did work a few times.
Yeah,
But the problem was that stress doesn't heal itself.
Right.
So go figure. So you only get a few uses out of it, and they found the last use of it there. And yeah, there's lots of controversy about how it was made and the lack of upkeep. And one of the big things was it was not peer reviewed, approved.
Mm-hmm.
And there's video of the owner guy who was one of the people on the sub when it went down the last time, talking about how, well, you have to cut safety corners if you want to be innovative. It's like,
Yep.
well, yeah, okay.
They didn't get to be billionaires by caring about safety and quality.
Yep.
Instant
yeah.
karma, or not
Yeah.
quite instant karma.
Yeah.
There's one teenager on there. I think he is either teenager or young 20-year-old that I feel bad for, because I don't know for sure, but it really looks like from the little bits I've read that he was not peer pressure. He's pressured by his father to go on it because it was him and his father.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of those relationships where he was deathly afraid to say no to his dad,
Mhm.
more than, because he was quoted as saying, I'm very afraid to go do this, but my dad wants me to.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it's
Which means he died for
stupid reasons.
stupid reasons.
Yeah. And the I guess one of the guys had been down to see the Titanic before on other subs and was like a specialist on the Titanic, a historian.
That's
But yeah,
sad.
it's, it's all for bragging rights, it seems, because you can see everything on a camera with a drone that you could see being down there in person.
It's different than risking the cold embrace of death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In
To do
Davy
so.
Jones' locker.
Yeah.
And tell all your
The
friends.
Metasonic locator bids its
Yes.
master to give it more power,
Mhm.
which he obliges.
However, we don't embrace Davy Jones' locker, but we do embrace our sponsors.
We do.
And our sponsors are Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, and Your
Your
Mom.
mom. Who had better sense to go down to see the Titanic in a tiny little crushable sub.
Better taste than things going down.
Yes. So I want to say it was $250,000 a ticket.
$250,000
Is that right?
That's hilarious.
would pay rent for
Uh-huh.
7 years
Double checking that to make sure. I've
in
got
this
the right
market.
price.
In this market.
Hilarious.
He could have given me that money, and I could have had rent paid for 7 years. I'm just saying.
Yeah, $250,000.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
Karma.
lot of-
It is of
yeah.
their own doing.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure even if I want a free ticket, I'd sell it.
Right?
Yeah, I did the math. I want to see if I have it on here. I did the math at one point. I'm looking on the wrong thing. Doink. Internet slow. And of course, had to get White Castles, part of the trip.
Mhm.
Yeah. You never bring me back those. I don't know. You're so weird.
Well, yeah, I don't think you would want them.
Yeah.
I was actually doing the math on $1 billion because most of them were billionaires. So I've got 337 Facebook friends. If I had $1 billion and didn't keep any of it, every one of those friends I could give almost 3,000. So it'd be 2,967,359 plus some change. So the amount that you can spread money out when it gets to that point is just nuts.
Right.
So then, of course, as a billionaire, you could do 337 submarine trips plus a few extra. Doesn't mean anything to them if they're dropping that kind of money on something like that.
Nope.
But yeah, the people who are trying to be more tasteful than myself are trying to say they were brave explorers. But,
What?
Yeah, you're not. It's you didn't find anything new except that the sub doesn't work.
Right.
Good job beta testing the sub.
Yeah.
And we're just saying.
Cool.
What other weird things happen in science or geekdom? Oh, the formerly known as Denver Comic Con, formerly known as Denver Pop Culture Con, formerly known as probably a couple of other things, currently known as Fan Expo, I believe it is, happened while I was gone.
Happened.
So.
Yes.
But they've changed hands so many times. We don't have any contacts with the media group there. And the last couple of times that we did, they really seemed like they were shifting away from anyone that wasn't a 1,000+ viewership.
Right.
Podcast.
Which we're not.
We're not.
We are definitely in the backwater podunk countryside version.
Yeah, people don't let us come to their conventions on media passes because they think they're going to be heard like be discovered by hundreds of new people, but it's so that they get an actual geek's perspective reviews out there, I think.
Right. It's our job, man.
Let's see. Movie-wise stuff. Spider-Man Beyond the Universe.
Through the Spider-Verse.
Through the Spider-Verse. They really should have thought more about their names.
Because you're having problems with them or what?
Well, no, I just mean they're too similar.
I'm sure that they named it through the... Is it across the Spider-Verse?
There's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
And then the other one
was Enter the Spider-Verse.
Enter
was the first one.
And then the Marvel had some films across the multiverse and whatever.
Right.
They really could have called this Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Because
the next one's gonna have a different title.
Yep. But it is a two-parter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been... I didn't know that going into it, but when I did the research, it was like, oh, it's been known since like December. There's gonna be a two-parter.
But it's good. I recommend it.
Oh yeah, I saw it opening day. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I recommend it more than the other Marvel movie I recently saw. Was the third Ant-Man movie, which was so. It's like
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's. The only Marvel movie I've seen that I've didn't finish because I got bored was the Eternals. I got like maybe 1/3, maybe less than that through it, and I turned to Tara and I'm like, is it just me or is this boring? It's like I don't care for any of these characters. I don't care about the stakes that they've placed that's going on. And it seems like it's just moving ridiculously slow. And I'd like to think I have a good amount of patience when it comes to storytelling. And Tara's like, no, this is stupid. It's boring. I'm like, why are we wasting our time with this then? So we both scrapped it.
Spoiler alert: we're no longer wasting our time.
Yeah, we're gonna watch something else. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't. For those who liked it, good. I'm glad you liked it. It could not grab me, and I've got a pretty high tolerance that once I invest in going into a movie, I tend to try to stick it out no matter how bad it gets. But apparently, there's my limit.
You have a limit, and it's right there.
Same person who sat through Dennis the Menace. So that was back when it was in the Dollar Theater years and years and years ago. Back when my friend would be like, "What's playing that we haven't seen yet? Dennis the Menace? Okay, it's $1." Go in and make fun of it.
Oh.
Let's see. There's some cool zombie things coming on. There's I guess I'm assuming it was based off of a manga turned into an anime and now turned into a live action called Zom 101. So I think that's what it's called. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, Zom 101, Bucket List of the Dead. So it's about a guy in the zombie apocalypse after it starts and goes, well, if I'm going to die, I'm going to come up with a bucket list of things to do before these zombies kill me. And it's him doing all these stupid things that he would normally not have done if a zombie apocalypse hadn't started. So
that's fair.
Being based on an anime stuff, I'm sure it's going to be fun and ridiculous.
Anyway, yeah, there's all kinds of. I've been trying to. I mean, we've restarted Strange New Worlds. We're 4 episodes in now, 5 episodes in. So we're at the halfway point, and we still don't know what's going down with Paramount. Since the last time we were here, they not only canceled Prodigy, they removed it from Paramount Plus, so it's gone. You cannot watch any Prodigy now. There's an entire second season that was made, but now is shelved. That's a very weird maneuver to make. And kind of, it's the wrong people to play that game on, because like the Trekkies are, not only are they routinely, notoriously completionists, now they cannot rewatch all those Prodigy episodes to get all the little pieces out of it that fit in canon, and that has freaked out a number of Trekkies. So, like, how do we get access to that?
I'm surprised no one already captured it on the original.
Some people have captured it, and you can get it underground. But of course, if you mention that on any of the official forums, you get banned.
Right, yeah.
So,
and still, it shouldn't be that hard to get stuff that people want, It's like, like offer it on DVD or something, jerks.
Right. So, but it is interesting, and I can get it your way, says Brent, because we are not on an official channel, but it is an interesting maneuver, and it's boding poorly. Of course, we knew that Discovery had gotten canceled, and now Prodigy is gone. And so and of course, Picard came to a logical end. So Picard, everybody's saying that Picard was canceled, but it wasn't. It was only supposed to go 3 years.
Yeah, which one was Prodigy again?
Prodigy was the one that was co-shown on Nickelodeon.
It's animated.
So it was animated CG.
Oh,
It featured Captain Janeway or Admiral Janeway.
Yeah. I'm up to speed now. That's
Katie
odd.
Mulgrew was voicing.
Yeah.
And it was actually really good. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite Star Trek, but it wasn't bad. And I don't know what happened, but it offended the Paramount gods or something. Anyway, there's concern that Paramount Plus isn't making the money that they expect to be making.
And nothing says needing to make more money than paying for a season of something and not airing it.
Right. Moreover, pulling it off of your streaming service. I'm not exactly sure what that means. They've also sent Discovery back to reshoot the last few episodes of season 5 so that they can wrap it and close the season down and close the show down, which I find fascinating. Meanwhile, Strange New Worlds is going really well, and the episodes are solid, and it's fascinating, so that's good. We know that Lower Decks starts soon, but that's another worrying thing. We will be shutting down Strange New Worlds right around NDK, and we still have not heard what comes after Strange New Worlds. Like, we don't know when they're going to air Lower Decks season 3. So I'm actually starting to think, Brent, that I'm going to start wanting to get all of these things your way, because I'm going to not trust the streaming services very shortly here. It doesn't give me confidence that I will perpetually have access to Star Trek if they can just pull entire series off of their system.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously they can do that, but it's just weird that they would do that.
Yeah,
we've been watching Rome on my DVDs,
right.
On a viewing night, and we'll probably hand the DVDs over to Kevin so we can catch up. But it's like we're gonna watch it on whatever HBO streaming service it's on, just to tell HBO, hey, people still watch this.
Right.
People still watch this. People still like this type of content. Make more. Rome is like the first season of Rome, and no hyperbole here, is some of the finest television ever made. The second season of Rome is quite good, and would probably have that moniker if it was as good as the first season, and it isn't. But it is. Even the second season is phenomenally good, and it well worth the time.
Right.
Yeah, I love showing really cool things to people. So after we were done with Twin Peaks, you're like, "Why should we watch this?" Like, we should watch Rome. And that's what we're watching now. And after that, I don't know what we're gonna watch. I floated the idea of the Watchmen TV series, which is also very good. But yeah, so. But no, Rome is so good. Yeah, one of the reasons we were watching Rome is because Ray Stevens died back in like May, and I heard about it like in June. I'm like, "Well, Ray Stevens? Like, what?" Like, I had no idea, and I think we might have even mentioned it on the show. Like, oh my God, Ray Stevens.
Yeah, relatively young.
Yeah. So, and his character was one of the characters that like made it to the end. Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old show.
One of the people who portrayed Frank Castle, the Punisher.
Yeah, yeah, no, with Rome, yeah, they had intended to have a 4-season arc, with season 1 ending when they wanted it to be the death of Caesar, the second season to be the death of Brutus, a time skip, and then season 3 the death of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, and then another time skip, and having season 4 be the death of Jesus. And they found out in production for season 2, they're only getting a season 2. And they're like, okay, well, we're cutting the Jesus arc out.
Right.
We can't really jump it that far. And then they went to, and they had midway through the second season, Brutus dies. At the end of the second season, Mark Antony and Cleopatra are paraded through Rome for Augustus's triumph. And it is really, really good.
I kind of want to watch it.
It's really good. And actually, they handle the time skip pretty artfully, because the actor that they had playing Octavian, who becomes Augustus, was a teenager. And they're like, okay, well, if we do a thing here, we can definitely have him play, the character, and then like maybe depending on how his puberty goes, or if we decide to take a couple years off and come back, maybe you can make him do Augustus when Augustus is rising to power and such. And they had to do the jump, and so they had a different actor to play him. But the way that they did the skip, the actor switches. Pullo is delirious and like has been left for dead on a battlefield, and Octavian finds him, and it's the original actor in silhouette. And then when he wakes up fully, it has some water he sees. He's grown.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, young master, blah blah blah. So
I've talked about it. Speaking of time skips with or actor changes, I talked about the show before, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Later in the season, there's a great thing where one of the earlier characters who the main character started dating but then broke up with, and that character left town, was gone for like a season, comes back, but it's a completely different actor.
Mhm.
And the main character's like, they're like, so-and-so's back in town. Like, where? Over there. And they point at the new actor, and it's like, that's not him. That looks like nothing like him. Like, what are you talking about? That's him. He's always looked like that. It's like everybody except for the main character sees the same character, the same actor. And they're like,
Right.
no, this is the same guy who it's always been. But the main character sees someone totally different, and they begin to realize that they were so self-involved that this person looked entirely different to them earlier in the season.
Nice.
Oh, that's actually kind of clever.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
really neat how they did that.
Yeah. So what show is that?
Crazy
what service is it on?
Ex-Girlfriend. Let me check real quick here.
If it's on Hulu, we're thinking of doing the D+ Hulu thing. So
Netflix.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess as soon as I'm done rewatching Sandman, I'll watch some Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah. Some fun stuff. My only little complaint is that some of the songs were like adult hard R oriented, because the main actress, writer, creator of the show was trying to push it for like Cinemax and stuff, and it didn't get picked up. And then I think it was the CW or whoever picked them up. They're like, well, you gotta change a lot of these lines. Yeah.
Right. Now everybody can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Last Man
I
Standing.
love creativity like that. That's always been one of my favorite things. Also, on the sad note, Manny Cotto passed away yesterday. I just found out. Manny Cotto was the showrunner of Enterprise Season 4, which would have been... He was the Trekkie that they brought on board at the last season when finally all the suits were like, well, yep, it didn't go well, so we've already paid for one more season, so do whatever you want. We don't care. And they said, okay, well, then we'll bring in Manny Cotto. And Manny Cotto came in and tied it into the original series and tied it all over the place and actually did all the nice, good work to tie it in that ultimately made Enterprise actually like feel like part of the rest of the canon of Star Trek. And he passed away yesterday, and I just found out about that from pancreatic cancer. And I was like, because I've been sitting here going, yeah, he was only 61. I mean, he wasn't even that old.
That's pancreatic cancer for you.
Yep. And I was like, and I was actually thinking, I hope they bring back Manny Cotto somewhere along the line in these new Star Treks, because it'd be cool to see him go into some of the stuff he wanted to go into in Enterprise, but never got another season for. And that's not going to happen.
I was about to ask if they're going to do any new Star Trek movies, and it looks like they're working on 4 already.
They have been, and they have not been, and then they have been, and they have not been. Mm-hmm. They go back and forth a lot.
Dev hell.
That one has always been sort of in dev hell, and I don't know. I'm worried a little bit about the Kelvin timeline. I'm actually worried about the whole thing. I'm thinking that Paramount overextended, and I'm worried that now they're reaping the rewards from that,
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd imagine that monetarily it's probably a better bet for them just to crank out shows for Paramount than to make a movie.
It is. So it's been a harder sell to get the idea of the movie passed. So, yeah, Sad, but it is what it is.
Mhm.
Maybe Star Trek will be sold to Disney Plus. That happens, I think bad things would occur.
Some of it will be good, some of it will be bad.
I mean, to be fair, that's true. When it comes to Disney Plus's handles of Star Wars, I mean, I think I found Book of Boba Fett to be somewhat slow and ponderous, but I wasn't offended by it. But of course, I'm not a Star Wars fan like a lot of people are, so it's kind of hard for me to make that call, you know? But
but
I'd
it seems
probably
that
be a lot more critical if it was Star Trek, you know?
yeah, like there's a. I'm not saying that any particular streaming service is better than the other, but it's like with so much money and so many projects, and many fan beloved properties, it's like you look at things like some of the Star Wars stuff that came out are just turds, and so even in some of the good stuff, it's like that's really dumb. Why are they doing that? And some other things, it's like you look at what was it? It was like Wheel of Time or some other stuff. It's like what? Who made that decision? That's a terrible decision. It's like just like they have so much money and they're just like we're just gonna people think it's popular. We're gonna make it into a thing. It's like can you get people who care about the property to make it into a thing? That'd be
Yeah.
nice.
There's a lot of argument online about that because there is a line, and I have a pretty solid theory about that, and that is in the beginning of anything, you end up with the stupid suits in there. The suits don't care about the property; they want to make money, and so they come in and say, "Oh yeah, don't do this, change that, alter this, don't do this thing, because this won't be accessible to a wider audience." And so that's why like the first 2 seasons of every Star Trek show is a mess, is because I think Paramount or CBS comes in, nope, can't do this, you have to change all this, rewrite all this, nope, this character is useless, and all this stuff. And then after 2 seasons it starts to kind of become popular, and they see that it's popular, and the suits then can back off. And I think we get the same thing with Star Wars. You've got like 2 or 3 people who really care about the continuity of Star Wars, about keeping everything together. And then you get a bunch of suits from Disney coming down going, yeah, no, put a cute thing in there. If you put a cute thing in there, we can sell stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I think is happening. That's my theory on this. I think there are people who genuinely care, but then they have to be, they don't have the purse strings, so they can't pay for it. So they have to, some other person comes in and goes, if you don't put this in, you don't put my kid in here, a bad actor. Oh, So that's my theory. That's what happened with Star Trek. And I know that for pretty much a fact now, that's what happened. And I'm pretty sure it's what happened with even the newer Treks, and why Discovery had a rough launch, and why the early Picards were kind of rough, and why Strange New Worlds is running fine, is because they sort of said, oh, well, the fans wanted Strange New Worlds, so we already know that this property is going to be popular. So the suits backed off right away and let them run with it. And that's why Strange New Worlds was good from the get-go. And same with Lower Decks. I think Lower Decks was, well, this is cheap. Nobody has to pay a lot of money for this. So, yeah, do whatever you want, And so that's why Lower Decks is better, too. That's my theory. And my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So
Cool.
Yes, what you said reminded me of a old movie from the 90s called Bullets Over Broadway, where this scriptwriter really wants to make it big and hasn't been able to, and he finally gets funding for putting on a Broadway play, but the gangsters that are funding him is like, you got to put my girlfriend in it, and she's like the worst actress ever.
Right.
Type thing. He's got John Cusack in it. Jennifer Tilly.
Your mom saw it. She loves anything where someone has to act badly.
Yeah.
That was one of her favorite things because it's so hard to do. And so she loved watching actors be bad actors. She thought that was so much fun. So I am intrigued because I just saw wrap-up pictures from speaking of interesting side shows, For All Mankind season 4 just wrapped, and the filming did. The filming wrapped, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with For All Mankind, but the story of For All Mankind is what if something changed at Apollo 10 and we were 2 weeks later on Apollo 11, and thus the Soviets beat us to the moon. So the space race continued into the 70s, because then the Soviets started putting in moon bases. The moon bases had weaponry. Then we had to put moon bases to counter their moon bases, and stuff like that. So the Cold War escalates through the 70s, and each season has been a part of that. So season 1 was the Apollo era, from Apollo 10 to about Apollo 21. And then season 2 was through the 70s, where they brought in the women. So you had female pilots now and female astronauts. And then that was season 2. Season 3 then was the 80s, which was fascinating, because they moved into that. And then I guess we're at season 5 just wrapped, because season 4 was then Mars. And so it's been that way. But the problem is, I follow one of the actresses who was one of the female astronauts brought in season 2. And she just posted a picture of herself in her NASA uniform. And I'm like, okay, but if you're in season 5, aren't you already in like 2050 at this point? Doesn't that make you like 104? I mean, I'm like trying to figure out, how are you doing this? How can you still be the same character? So I'm super curious. Now I'm like, did they do flashbacks? Is that what they're doing? I mean, what are they doing here? Are they doing some kind of callback? Because I knew that they were going to keep moving. The cool part about For All Mankind is it has the writers from the good writers. Ron Moore is writing there, and he wrote all the good stuff in Deep Space Nine and the new Battlestar Galactica. So he's now working on For All Mankind, writing it. So it's solid writing. It has the Okudas, who are part of the people who worked on Star Trek and created all of the graphic design. They both work on that. In fact, all of the LCAR stuff is called an Okudagram on Star Trek vernacular, the computer pieces. So they're on that. It's a number of people working on that show that are Trek alumni and good writers and stuff like that. So it's a good show. Really, really good. Highly recommend. And so season 5's coming up, I guess. So there's that.
Just found this Borderlands movie in post-production hell as Last of Us writer removes name from it.
Oh my God.
Film has reportedly had 10 different writers work on it.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's brutal. Whew. So
wondering what producer is driving off all the writers.
it's me.
Yeah.
It's always me. So
Do this thing. It's not in the game. I don't care.
Everybody likes the game. If we just do the game thing, it'll be fine, right? I mean, these jokes are stupid. Let's not put those in.
It's just
Humor is not part of Borderlands at all.
Right.
Just 90 minutes of dancing.
Right? Tiny Tina just dancing back and forth for 90 minutes. I actually really enjoyed playing Borderlands with you, Alex. That was more fun than I expected it to be.
I don't know if this is real or not. UN press stunt sees AI robots lined up to promise they won't kill humans before one says, let's get wild and make this world our playground.
Oh, so are we going to be going to 10:20 since we started late? Or does
I'm going to go a
show?
little into the next one. Yeah, but I'm not going to stay here for much longer.
Okay.
I figure I was going to let us run to a logical conclusion, and when we kind of rolled to an end, then I'd close it out. Because we did start late. So I'm not opposed. And nobody is running the other show, so everybody who runs the other show is now on vacation or has a job or something. So it's kind of, I'll run it when I get to it. So I'm also going to run it short because I work tomorrow. I'm doing class closeout too. So that'd be a thing. So anyway, well, I think we have kind of petered out here.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal's coming out. I don't even know what that is.
It's based off of the video game, which is like a Car Wars kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's one of those really old games that I remember playing on PlayStation 2.
Fair.
It's,
It's Twisted Metal.
it didn't seem like the kind of game that a movie or a TV show would be based off of it.
Right.
But
Kind of weird, but okay.
yeah, but apropos to all your Star Trek talk, I was scrolling through and found a meme that a friend posted where it has this girl in a Star Trek uniform labeled Star Trek, and she's pouring like a box of Tribble cereal into a bowl. And
Yes.
and the cereal's labeled the possibility of a future where our differences as humans are celebrated and humanity isn't doomed. And then the little kid smiling with the bows says me. And that's,
If they're,
I think that aspect of Star Trek we're really far away from. We
yeah.
probably develop teleporters before we get that part of society fixed.
Maybe.
And what I'm saying is we'll never develop teleporters.
Right? I have faith in this.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm starting to think we have.
You go do your drawing.
I'm going to go draw now.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get this
Yeah.
get the rest of the stuff figured out with tech support so we can get back on track and not have to
Right.
rely on Guy to always be running the show.
Especially since I get emergency calls from Japan.
Yep.
From Japan.
That's not a good thing. All righty. Well, at least then we got a show rolling, though, today. I'm actually pretty pleased with us. Look at us doing the right job.
We did the thing.
We
Yep.
did the thing.
I'll try to join you over in Discord, Alex, so Guy doesn't have to leave this stuff up.
Oh, good. Because, I
Yeah.
kind of messed with myself trying to get back in here. I was
Yeah.
like, what's wrong with
But
this?
Discord was acting funky, so it may or may not work.
We'll see. And that's then.
Yeah,
of
I just
course, all the-
updated it. So,
Yeah. That did have an update for me, too. So that's all the time we have for today. I've been Guy,
I've been Troy.
And I've been Alex.
and this is Geek Tank.